One of the highest honors you can receive as a high school quarterback is being invited to compete at the Elite 11. The event, which is held in Los Angeles, California, starts this week, June 14th, and goes for 3 days. We're here to preview the highly competitive field of quarterbacks. Let's get right into it, starting with the number 1 overall quarterback, Dylan Raiola, 5-star plus prospect from Phoenix, Arizona. Raiola was committed early on to Ohio State. He decommitted back in December, and in May, he committed to the Georgia Bulldogs, but his recruitment really came down to 3 schools: Georgia, Nebraska, and USC. That was a dog commitment and has been vocal recruiter ever since. Let's move on to the number 2 ranked quarterback in America, Julian Sayin. The 5-star prospect from Carlsbad, California, goes 6'2", 190, committed to the Tide in November. That was back when Bill O'Brien was the OC, but now that Tommy Rees is there, they seem to have an excellent bond as well. Sayin is at Alabama to compete, and that mentality should take him far in this Elite 11 competition as well. Next up is DJ Lagway, the 5-star quarterback from Willis, Texas. Number 3 ranked QB in America, 23rd best player overall. Lagway's been committed to the Florida Gators since early December. He's 6'2.5", 230 pounds with a cannon for an arm. He's a great player, great recruiter, was just in Gainesville last weekend, helping the staff try and flip the number 1 wide receiver in America, Jeremiah Smith. Lagway threw for over 2,000 yards and 2 touchdowns in 2022 for Willis High School. 4-star Jaden Davis is up next, the quarterback from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 4 QB in the country. He committed to Michigan at the end of March. It was a long-winded recruitment. A lot of people thought he was going to pull the trigger much earlier than that, but the Wolverines do have him on the commit list. Came down to Clemson, UNC, and Michigan. Jaden Davis is 6'1", 190 pounds. He had a great 2022 season, won North Carolina's biggest high school football honor, being named Mr. Football in the state. He threw for over 3,400 yards and 43 touchdowns, leading his team to a state championship. CJ Carr is up next, 4-star prospect, the number 5 quarterback in the country and 43rd best player overall. Carr stands at 6'2.5", 193 pounds, committed to Notre Dame almost a year ago in June. Now he's the grandson of legendary Michigan coach Lloyd Carr, but he's heading to Notre Dame. Carr's coming off a junior season, which he completed 68% of his passes for 2,685 yards and 26 touchdowns. Up next is 4-star quarterback Air Nolan, ranked as the 6th best quarterback in the country and the 50th best player overall. Nolan is from Fairburn, Georgia, led his Langston Hughes High School team to a state title last season, passing for more than 4,000 yards, 55 touchdowns, all while completing 73% of his passes. The 6'2", 185-pound Nolan is in it to win it this week at the Elite 11. Elijah Brown, he's the first uncommitted quarterback we have on this list. Brown, 6'1.5", 197 pounds from Santa Ana, California. Brown's currently trending on the recruiting prediction machine to Stanford, but Arizona State and UCLA are also involved in this one. Brown's the 7th ranked quarterback in the class and 59th best player overall. Up next, Florida State commitment, Luke Kromenhoek. Luke is ranked 8th in the country at the quarterback position and 72 overall. He's been committed to FSU for over a year, didn't start a game until his junior year. Last year, he threw for 2,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, while completing 65% of his throws. Ryan Puglisi up next, the 4-star prospect, the 12th ranked quarterback in the country, 150th best overall. Puglisi was Georgia's first QB commit in the 24 cycle. He committed to the Dogs in October, but even with Dylan Raiola on the commit list, Ryan Puglisi, he's not going anywhere. The 6'2.5", 200-pound quarterback will prove why he's not blinking from the competition when he gets out there to Elite 11. Now, Puglisi's from Avon, Connecticut, and he's also a top baseball prospect, throwing a 93-mile-an-hour heater. All right, 4-star quarterback Colin Hurley, he's up next. He comes from Jacksonville, Florida. Hurley's 6'1.5", 219 pounds with a big arm. He's a 15th ranked quarterback in the class and number 256 overall. Hurley is solidly committed to LSU after choosing the Tigers and reclassifying from the 25 to 24 class. Up next is 4-star quarterback Damon Williams Jr., number 16th ranked quarterback in the country, 298th best player overall. Williams committed to Ole Miss at the end of December. He's 5'11", 180, and as a junior, Williams threw for 2,300 yards and 23 touchdowns to just 1 interception. Up next, we got 4-star quarterback Isaac Wilson, the 18th ranked quarterback in the country. He's 5'11", 180 pounds, out of Draper, Utah. Sounds familiar, right? Wilson is the younger brother of Zach Wilson of the New York Jets. Now, Zach went to BYU, but Isaac is currently committed to Utah, committed there in May. All right, 4-star quarterback Dante Reno up next. The South Carolina commitment is from Cheshire, Connecticut. He's the 21st ranked quarterback in the class, 6'1.5", 200 pounds. As I said, committed to the Gamecocks in July of 2022. 4-star Michael Hawkins. He's 6'1", 185 from McKinney, Texas. Jumped on board at OU in April. Hawkins is the 22nd ranked quarterback in the country. 3-star Hoss Haney, number 25 overall at the quarterback position, committed to TCU back in April. He goes 5'11", 185 pounds, comes from Fort Worth, Texas. 3-star Will Hammond up next, the 26th ranked quarterback in the country. He's from Hutt, Texas. And Hammond, he's committed to the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Up next, 3-star Daniel Kalen from Bellevue, Nebraska. He's committed to Nebraska. Now, this is an interesting one. As soon as Raiola committed to Georgia, Nebraska turned to Kalen, flipped him from Missouri 2 to 3 days later. He's the 28th ranked quarterback in the class. 3-star Trevor Jackson. He's from Winter Garden, Florida, the number 34 ranked quarterback in the country. He's 6'3", 190, uncommitted, but trending toward Pitt right now in the recruiting prediction machine. 3-star Danny O'Neal, 6'1.5", 180 pounds from Indianapolis, Indiana, and he is headed to Colorado to play for Coach Prime. O'Neal is the 36th ranked quarterback in the country. Lastly, we got 3-star Ethan Grunkemeyer. He's 6'2", 190, number 39 ranked quarterback in the country, committed to James Franklin and Penn State back in May. Grunkemeyer is from Lewis, Ohio. That's the rundown on your Elite 11 competitors. Now let's turn our attention to Charles Power. Got a few questions for him as he is our Director of Scoutings and Ranking here at On3. All right, Charles, who's your pick to win the Elite 11 this year?
I think the Alabama commit Julian Sayin is probably the safest bet. If I was handicapping who's going to win the Elite 11 or be the Elite 11 MVP, is probably who I would go with. He is very refined. I think Julian Sayin's probably been to the most camps of all of these Elite 11 finalists. He's a guy who is just extremely comfortable in this setting. And when I think of consistency, I think he's the one that you would bet on. But it like Josh, is wide open. I could see several guys coming away with the top honors next week.
All right, Dylan Raiola enters the summer as our number 1 overall quarterback at the position. But do you think that there's anybody else in this competition that in the end could rival him for that number 1 spot?
Yeah, I look at DJ Lagway, the Florida commit. I think DJ Lagway has a case as the most physically gifted quarterback in this cycle. I think when you look at upside and just the runway he has, I think to continue improving as a senior, he's the one who I would earmark as the biggest threat to Dylan Raiola.
All right, Charles, give me your sleeper pick to win the Elite 11.
I think I'm going with Luke Kromenhoek. Similar to DJ Lagway, the Florida State commit has just, I think, some of the best upside and physical gifts of this group. He was a first-year starter as a junior, so I think if he's continued to improve this offseason and if he can have a consistent performance, I think the talent is certainly there to be the top guy.
All right. Well, the competition starts this week. Can't wait to see how it all shakes out. Be sure to check back with On3 for all the coverage from the Elite 11. Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. And remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.